guess I could put the pictures up and y'all talk about it.
You want me to?
That's the problem.
You want me to bring my cable out there? Because I can go on Wi-Fi. I think it'll work.
Well, I am going to get a cable. There's no doubt.
Well, let me just bring this.
It came in now. It came in now. I don't know. I don't know what the problem is today. See, before when we got cut off, it wasn't me that cut it off. It was the server somehow that cut it.
Yeah, it was. This was restream. That's the problem tonight. I have no doubt.
Yeah.
Because we had problems getting in, and so yeah.
Well, we might be going back to StreamYard. They keep.
Everybody
man,
we're just having a heck of an off night.
Boy, we are. It's just one bad day after another on this one, man.
Yeah, and that was it's a really see, he said he's Michael Barr saying it's CenturyLink. Facebook froze up like you wouldn't believe, and it could be crowded. There might be an outage or something.
Well, now all these riots are going on right now, ain't they?
Yeah. Well, I don't know if there's any riots because the verdict was guilty, so that should have satisfied a lot of people. Hopefully.
Excuse me.
It's funny, and I listened to that story about Charleston.
I should just go back. I just should go ahead and go to sleep. I should go to sleep. This has been a horrible day. All right. Hello, everyone. Sorry that we had such a bad problem today. I bet this one I'll have to do. So there'll be a lot of editing I'm going to have to do with that show.
Well, I think you're talking about the last one.
Yeah, that's the one we just did. Because didn't we do it in 3 parts?
Yeah.
Well, the first one didn't go on at all.
Oh, that's right. It did.
So you only have the one part. We have to get him back, and we'll have to do the whole thing again because, like I said, that is an awesome book. And I mean, you had Tully Blanchard there. We didn't talk about. He gave his testimony that night, and we really didn't talk about Henry Marcus a lot in the show.
No. Yeah, we definitely need to do it again when I have problems.
There's Tully Blanchard.
I'm not having any right now. But we're not live either, though. Well, we are. We are live on.
We're live with it. Yeah.
Would it have been Facebook's problem?
That's very possible.
I mean, I'm linked straight up to you, so whatever issues you have, I have.
Now it's working. So, it's going on and off.
You kind of froze up a little.
You want me to bring this cable to you real quick? Because I can go on. No, I've reset. I'm almost sure I can go on my Wi-Fi.
We'll just talk cable tonight. We'll just talk a little bit because it won't matter if we're going on and off. And then we'll just redo these next week. We'll do the things. We'll just talk to each. We'll talk to the people.
Michael Barr has discovered Mid-South, and he has seen Mil Mascaras. Yes, yeah. Everybody go through. Everybody that the who's who went through Mid-South. It was a very difficult, long trips. Though they didn't really stay that long, but they drew some tremendous houses there.
I think it was Michael or somebody that was asking on the other broadcast that he wondered if Mil Mascaras worked angles in any promotions. And honestly, I don't remember him doing anything. He was an attraction. He came in and out for one show, and I think his demand was he came in, he got the shine, and he got the win, and he left.
Yeah, he did stuff that no normal wrestlers around the local wrestlers were not doing. A lot of the stuff, high flying stuff off the ropes and stuff. He wasn't. So he was, like you're saying, he was a special attraction.
I told I told Andy, I said, "Yeah, we need to get you back on there, and we're not having problems."
It's always something, and this was a very good story about this arena because he talked about the arena being closed, which sounded like the beginning of the end for that. Just as soon as that building was closed, they had to go over to and then they had to travel. And as you know, you need to build up one location. Even back then, still it was an important location. And I'm not sure when the North Charleston Coliseum was completed. I know when I went there with the circus, it was there.
Is that where they went to after?
North Charleston Coliseum?
Yeah, is that where they went after they
Well, after it closed, he said they played at they was having matches at a high school. Then it went to the Citadel. And then I don't recall, I'm sure they did, and I'm not sure what year the North Charleston Coliseum when it was open. That's a huge place, so it's 19,000 seats. So they may not went there. Mike Barr said that Mill did the lucha libre moves even back at that time. Yeah, he did.
Well, Mexican wrestling, that's what they did all over Mexico back then.
Let's see. Dan said that Mil Mascaras challenged Superstar Graham for the WWF title, were matches I enjoyed. I like Mil Mascaras. I know we always used to say though every time, because Mil would walk on his toes. That he really wouldn't walk. He would walk on his toes, and we'd always say, "Well, there he goes. He's doing his ballet dancing."
This dancing star. He came to Georgia very rarely. He didn't, and of course that's primarily where we went to the matches. And I don't recall he was ever at a card that we were on, that we saw. And yes, he was a big. Yeah, he's right. Richard was talking about how he was a movie star. Yep. He was a man of 1,000 masks, right? Is that what his deal was? I remember. Do you remember the
issues? This is restream problem.
Yeah, it's a restream. Richard, do you remember when the spoiler would wear his mask? He was wearing his mask at one time. Was he in Georgia?
Yeah, there's a picture. There's a picture on Facebook where he's wearing it.
Yeah.
You don't have to film on it.
Yeah, the spoiler was wearing his mask there for a while. And I was assuming that means that they were going to wrestle, and they could have in Georgia. We just never saw him because we didn't start going regularly. We didn't start going regularly until about 78, 79, a little bit in 77. And spoiler was there in 76.
He said he came to Atlanta a few times and worked for Gunkel. That's what Richard was saying. Let me go back up here and make sure we got everybody in here. Terrence, how you doing, sir? All these problems we had tonight, we're going to blame Jack for.
Believe me, I had all kinds of issues. I come on like 2 minutes before we went live because I couldn't get nothing to come on and found out my puppies had unplugged me.
This has just not been our day. This is like a bad dream. Facebook froze up like you're not believe. Yeah, I think maybe maybe this whole system is having problems tonight. Good evening from Robert Grice. How you doing, Robert? Michael Barr said Andy sure had a lot to say, and all it was nice. Like he does have some tremendous stories, and very good at telling those stories too. We're definitely going to get him back on. We'll definitely get him back on. We hope we don't have problems. I am going to fix whatever I can on my side, it could be my computer now. My little earphone thing still will not work. So I don't know if that, maybe my computer's going out. I don't know. I was watching Mid-South and had no idea Mil Mascaras was on it. He did the moves. We went through that, didn't we?
Yep.
Richard Hood, Mil Mascaras was big in the Spanish movie industry. Terrence said he was never in Mid-Atlantic. Mil Mascaras, what?
I thought he did some shots up there.
I thought he did too. I thought he went everywhere.
Yeah.
He said he's got a Mil Mascaras mask.
Do you?
Actually got one too, but I got a couple of them that I was going to actually give away, but they're not the real mask. Probably Michael's got. These I picked up on the side of the street somewhere.
By the way, Mil Mascaras is 78 years old.
Wow.
Richard Hood said something about I thought that was the Zodiac.
It could be. They might have done it several times, but I distinctly remember the spoiler wearing that mask.
Michael said, blame it on the puppies, Jack.
Wait till they bite your ankles, buddy.
Let's see. I saw him on IWA. Yeah, he wrestled a lot for those for the IWA.
Was he not the IWA world champion?
He might have been.
I think he still is. I don't think he ever gave that belt up.
Oh,
I mean, I'm not making a joke. I mean, honestly, I think he held on to that once that promotion folded.
Maybe Facebook is trying to take us down. I wouldn't be surprised. I'd be surprised about anything that Facebook is doing. I mean, we're talking wrestling. That's all we're talking. I mean, it's not like we're doing anything crazy. It was something I was going to. In that book, I noticed there's a page, Rod, and you might be able to open that up. There's a page in there, and it has Dad in it, but they don't have his in the little caption. They put everybody on there, but they miss him in that thing. He's with I think he's standing next to Tommy Young. I think Tommy Young, Charles Robertson. Hey, by the way, how did Charles Robertson end up being able to do that? Because wasn't he working for Vince at the time?
I think he was, but I think Vince gave permission because he knew what that meant to him.
I was just wondering.
Charles has a very good relationship with Vince.
I was just wondering how he paid to do
that. When his wife had cancer, Vince paid him full salary to stay home with her for almost a year, and then paid all the funeral expenses.
Wow.
So, a lot of respect there on both sides.
By the way, if I freeze, I have no. Am I coming in?
Yeah,
you're still here.
Yeah,
my internet's going out. I wonder if my what do you call that thing in there?
Router.
There's
Dad there, but it says his name on it.
Yeah, this one he's with a bunch of people.
This is a definite collector's item for sure.
How much is that book on Amazon?
I think seemed like somebody just said he ordered it. A Reunion at County Hall.
Hold on, I'm looking it up.
Let's see, and the pictures are all in color.
$9.95. Well, $9.95. That might be the. Oh, that's for Prime members. What's the difference between the two prices?
One is a download, an audio download, and the other one is a hardback.
Oh, okay. $21.95 is the hardback. Then
there he is, right there with Tommy Young. We've got this picture right here somewhere. This one right here, him and Tommy Young. Dad's got United Wrestling on his shirt. Tommy Young's got NWA on his.
Yeah, Michael, I don't know what's going on tonight. I just I'm not having a good internet night. Hey, let me ask y'all this question, and I haven't tried this, but we need to try this when we have problems like this. I wonder, let's try this maybe sometime and see if each one of us can go on. And if we, for some reason, I wonder if both of us can be in there as I'm going to have to check that out and see if
moderator.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Just in case this happened again.
Just as a backup, check out that card right there. Whoops. This one here.
The Terry Funk and Paul Jones, Tony Atlas.
Well, this one right here, match of the year, I'm going the wrong way. There we go. Match of the year. Say that one. Wally McDaniel and Ric Flair. I bet you that's the one he was talking about.
You know, I don't think people understand today how going to the live shows was what it was all about. I mean, that's what made you. You know, Michael, you may be right. It may be my modem. It may be going in and out.
Here's a match with or a card with Haystacks Calhoun in it.
Hey, Michael, that is a good book, and it is on Amazon. When you put that reunion at County Hall, just two things come in. Hey, when you get that, Jack, I've never got one. Have you ever got one like at $9.95? Does all the pictures and everything come in with it?
Yeah.
Was it a digital download? Is it what it is?
I didn't get the digital, so I don't know. I always buy the hard covers.
I just wondered if you get every, but sometimes you'll get the what it comes in a Kindle, but Kindle wouldn't show pictures, right?
I don't think so.
So you would only be able to read it. I mean, at least that's how I would think you would do. I don't know. I've never bought one, so I don't read. I just look at the pictures.
They don't have any pictures in it. I don't care nothing about it.
There's all kinds of pictures in that thing, and great pictures that he had took. Hey, did he? I meant to ask him. Did he? Well, I wasn't on there, so I wouldn't be able to have videotape. Did he videotape that?
That we didn't ask. We need to ask that.
Let's see. In Mid-South, the Magnum was getting strapped by Cornette when Terry Taylor came out and took some Roddy influenced that ankle.
I will tell you the story because I asked Bill Dundee about that. I said, after a while, you'd think Terry Taylor would leave people alone or quit sticking his nose in everybody's business. And it was Bill's idea to send him out there. He said, hey, you want to get over? Go out there and take with some of those licks that they're going to give Magnum. And he did. It did help Terry Taylor.
Is that Michael Barr asked who the publisher of that book is? Is that Mass Market Paperback? Is that who that is?
I believe that is another term for it.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
This was produced in, or it says it doesn't have the name. It says made in the USA, Columbia, South Carolina, on the 28th of March, 2021.
The publisher is Create Space Independent Publishing Platform.
Oh, okay.
Oh, he was talking about those Christmas cards from Moolah. He's got those in this book, pictures of it. He's got wrestling books. He's got Jimmy Valiant's record, Son of a Gypsy, Handsome Jimmy.
I look forward to going to Atlanta City Auditorium on Friday nights.
Yep.
Michael Barr, I have a friend on Facebook. I can ask him if he videotaped it.
Well, we can ask Andy if he does. I bet you he does.
Too, aren't you?
And I've got full bars, so I'm still blaming you.
It just wasn't our night. I don't want to try to do these shows.
Where's my puppies? I'm blaming them.
Hey, I'll blame them. Hey,
they're puppies. I forgot to lock them up in the bedroom tonight. They're awfully quiet, and I don't trust them.
See, I can guarantee
they're chewing on something.
They're chewing something up.
Those shows in that building with 2,500 seats is like going to the Boutwell or going here to Chattanooga Memorial Auditorium or to the auditorium in Atlanta. Up close.
All this, because I can remember there was an electricity in the building when you'd walk in, but they'd always have that intermission right before the main event. And they was talking, and that bell would ring. The people nowhere where they were, they'd run to get to their seats. That was just that there was a feeling. There was something about that was just electric, and I don't know, because you were ready to see who go against Dick Slater or Wrestling 2 go against the Superstar. I was just watching something today where a Superstar tore up Wrestling 2's robe, and they came back with a shackle match and the Omni, and just tremendous stuff. Richard Hood said he always enjoyed going to the Channel 17 on Saturday mornings. Yeah, we did too. We enjoyed it. We went almost every Saturday. Now, if you talk to Bobby Simmons, he'll tell you we didn't do that, but we did. Not earlier. It was probably when did we start going a lot? Right, 1979.
Well, this was more so after they moved over to Techwood Drive.
Yeah. And I think that was the new building. 79, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. It would be this time with the Freebirds. That would be 80, 81. Roddy Piper was there.
We went a lot at that point, and we'd always go. Charlie McGowan would put up the wrestling ring, and he worked in the office, and did a bunch of stuff, and we'd always go with him to breakfast. It was a great place that he would go, not very far from the TBS studios there. I wonder, Richard, I bet we were in the same studio with you. Oh, I bet we were.
Some of the shows we were there. We sat there behind, at that time, Bobby Heenan was there. And so we sat there and harassed him. He didn't acknowledge the thing we said.
Where is Bobby Simmons? Bobby Simmons is in Atlanta. He has a church in Atlanta somewhere, doesn't he?
Yep.
He is the pastor of a church.
And at one time, I thought he was working a recreation center as well. I'd be wrong about that.
150 Techwood Drive.
That's right.
You always came in from the bottom. We always came in from the bottom, and then you would go up the steps to get to the studio. The studio was actually on the second level of that place. You always had to go downstairs. There was a break room there, and we used to always go down there and spend our money. That whole $3 that we used to get when we'd sell programs for bread. And that was all fine and dandy until we sold programs ourselves. We sold $500 or $600. We got $120. Wait a minute now. What was that $3 we made?
That's right. That was the end of that. Yeah.
Brent Rodney, you ever think you would get involved? Brent, did you and Rodney ever think you would get involved with? Oh yeah. We knew we was going to do something in wrestling. We never got to do it to the extent that we thought we were going to, because by the time we got to the age of doing the stuff, the territories was dying. But if they would have been territories, if that territory system would have stayed, that we would have made a living in the wrestling business until the time we wanted to retire. But once the territories died, that was it, because they would have groomed us and got us ready to do that stuff. And that's what they were doing that anyway. They'd make you, the first thing they'd do, they'd make you put up the ring and then they'd make you put up the chairs, and then they'd make you be an usher. We did it all. Make us sell the popcorn, and then they let you sell the programs, and then okay, now he's going to pick up the jackets. Now he's going to be timekeeper. We did every bit of that stuff. There wasn't really nothing that we didn't do, except get in there and wrestle. We didn't do that. We never was big enough for that. So Richard Hood said he was there when Austin Idol broke Tommy Rich's leg. Let's see. Dan said, "Were you guys there when a Crusher worked Georgia?" Yes, we were. Rat-a-tat-tat. Rat-a-tat. Right. I still do that to this day. You remember him doing that, Jack?
That's right.
Rat-a-tat-tat. Rat-a-tat. I do it to my wife all the time. I'll rat-a-tat-tat you. I never understood what he was. Did that mean something? I mean, I don't know. Did that mean something like in did he do that up in Vern's territory?
Yeah, I think he did.
That meant something, but in Atlanta, people just thought there was something wrong with him.
I love that.
We lost him again. He's not having a good time either.
The Crusher was just a complete character. There's no doubt about it. The first time we saw the Crusher, that was when when Ernie Ladd broke his radio. He was out there listening to the radio. He broke his radio, and then he took him in the ring and gave him that bolo forearm and knocked Ernie Ladd over the top rope. It's awesome.
You know, he was over kind of in Atlanta, though. He got over there because he had a way of connecting to the fans.
Yeah, he was over huge that time he came to Columbus.
It was just incredible because he really wasn't. But Pro Wrestling Illustrated magazine, which was sold there. Plus, what was the other magazines? They were Pro Wrestling Illustrated, but wasn't there a couple of different?
The Wrestler,
Wrestling International.
I think one of them was called Wrestling Inside or Insider or something.
Yep,
I can't remember. There was like 5 or 6 titles.
And the Crusher was on a lot of those. So he was a star to wrestling fans. And really, I'm gonna be honest with you, the smart guys that would kiss up to Bill Apter, they were very smart. Wrestling 2 was one of those that really would take Bill Apter out. He'd take him out to eat and stuff. And I'm not saying he didn't deserve the stuff that he got, but if Bill Apter likes you, he could make or break you, really.
Yep.
Could. I remember Crusher called Ole Snotson, and Ivan Koloff was Ivan Dumbcuff.
You know, he wasn't there long, but man, I just remember.
No, he was there maybe a month. And a lot of that was, and we had it before. Vern wanted to get him out of his area for a while, so they would send him to Georgia because Ole and Vern worked together, and so they would send those down. And of course, in '77, I think it was, Bobby Heenan and Nick Bockwinkel were there, and Bockwinkel actually was there with the AWA World Title.
Yeah,
that whole thing.
There's a photograph that we posted on Facebook that there's a photograph of them. And they went to Atlanta and did that.
It was huge. It was huge when they were there, and it was building up with Bockwinkel and Wrestling 2. That's where Gordon Soley got zapped by 2 when Bockwinkel was demonstrating the figure 4.
Crusher had a cup of coffee in Georgia. Yeah,
Crusher was known as the man who made Milwaukee famous.
That's right.
Hey, was this right after Tommy got his haircut? Or was this?
Yes, I think it was during it. I think it was during it.
Yeah, I believe that was part of that angle where Tommy was bringing people in to go with him after Ole.
Okay, because I just kind of remember him getting his haircut during this point in time. Charles said that was another man I presented a cigar to. Oh, by the way, Charles, I'm gathering you got through the surgery. Everything must have went well. That's good to hear. Is it true Fuller wouldn't let Southeast Championship Wrestling in the Apter magazines? Well, he either didn't want it in there or they didn't care to be in it. I'm not for sure which one it was.
The other one, the one that we saw, the Wrestling News, they were all in it.
Yeah.
They were in the Wrestling News.
I just don't think they had anybody there. Now, one time they were sending a guy over because he would take pictures and he got in trouble. And he would take our photographs that we were selling and he'd get in trouble because he'd always get in front of the camera. Every time. He'd always be in front of the camera.
That's
Can't
right.
remember the guy's name. I just remember Ron told me one time, Brent, you go get your camera guy that's taking those pictures and tell him to stay out of my shots. And I used to tell him some.
And it was why he was in the shots is beyond me because he could have been on the opposite side. It was to the front side where the steps were at, and then the opposite side from where there was no reason.
Yeah, I got towed off many times over that. Oh man. And I would have to tell him if he wouldn't do it again.
I was thinking about. It seems like his name was Greg, but I'm not for sure.
I don't know that Ron did do that. I don't know. Maybe he did. I don't know. I don't know. But I doubt it. I doubt they just didn't. It was such a small territory. They just didn't. They didn't go there because that Apter was going to be in New York. He's going to be in Charlotte. He was going to be in I don't know that they had that many people because I know Jim Cornette even took pictures, didn't he? Didn't he take pictures in Memphis area? Didn't he send them to Bill Apter?
Well, the thing about Bill Apter is he wasn't the editor of those magazines. He was the lead photographer.
Yeah.
But if Bill wasn't out there making pictures of you, they didn't have stories to write. So Bill did influence greatly who got pushed.
Yeah, he did. I mean, that's true. Let's see. Who was the wrestler who had a dog bone in wrestling Atlanta, not the junkyard dog? Moondog Maine?
Moondog Main's who I was thinking.
Yeah. I mean, the Moondogs had one too. But Moondog Maine, he was the guy that killed he didn't kill it. He knocked out that gopher and put it in Dad's bag. And it came to life on him.
I saw him in a match. Gary Hart was managing. I can't remember who the match was now, but I saw him. It was the Sheik against Fritz von Erich. And I saw Moondog Maine roaming around the ringside.
Terrence said, I just found out that Sonny Fargo was also he was what Brickhouse Fargo, what was his name? Rough House Fargo or Nut House, whatever they call it. But yeah, it was Rough House Fargo.
Jackie called him Nut House, and he was Rough House Fargo.
If you never saw him, Terrence, at live, you missed something. Yeah. It was tremendous. Jack, did you ever see Rough House live?
I did.
Tremendous.
Well, let me tell you, I saw him on Chattanooga TV.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
he was just so good in the arenas. He would come up, and the next thing you know, he'd be way in top of the building, not just in the deal. He would be at the top of the building, and they'd let the spotlight hit him. He'd wave at Jackie, and Jackie would say, "Come on down," and he'd have to go get him and bring them back down. And the next thing you know, he'd be sitting eating popcorn, taking people's popcorn, and Jackie'd have to go get him again, put them back at the ring, and he'd look around. The next thing you know, he'd jump off. He'd be off somewhere else. And he did this he was so good at it. And it was always they was going to go get this crazy guy. He's going to have to go get his brother out of the nut house. And it always sold out, always did well. And he was tremendous at this. He did it superb. I don't know that I've seen anybody else do that gimmick ever in wrestling.
No, it was a complete, and we got to see him do it live in Chattanooga. We were over at the McCullen Gym. We, for whatever reason, couldn't be in the auditorium. Against Tommy Rich and Rough House was against Kabuki and Ron Bass. And I'm going to tell you, I think everybody in that match had a great time. And Sonny was eating it up. I mean, Sonny was eating it up. Because he was working over in the Carolinas. He was working over the Carolinas doing the referee. Of course, Gary Hart was over there as well, and he had a good time. He even zapped Gary Hart a few times through that show. It was good.
Charles said, "Well, I'm at home now, but not 100%." Michael Barr said, "Prayers out to you, Charles, for a speedy recovery." Charles said, "No more nicotine."
Oh, boy.
I guess I'll send my last cigars to Jack.
Well, now, just for an FYI, Charles, cigars contain very little nicotine. That is an additive put in cigarettes, but not in cigars. But on the other hand, I will take your cigar.
You guys remember the Yes, I remember Mighty Igor. Yeah, he came to Atlanta a few times. But
Brent froze.
More. I did too. We're gonna have to get off of here, guys. Let's because we're fixing. I can see we're fixing to
Back to
knocked off again. Thanks, Michael, for Rodney or Brett, did either you can submit a referee? No. I think Rodney refereed a few times, but no, I never wanted to be a referee. I wanted to do what I did, and what I was doing, what I had been from the beginning was I took her merchandise first, promoting, and that's really what I wanted to do. I did the announcing, but it's not something I wanted to do. Just something that fell in there, and because it wasn't as much as so but it's not. I think Rodney's don't think you ever went to referee, did you, Rodney? Guys, thank you so much. We're going to have to get off of here because we're fixing to come. It's going to happen.
Wait a minute. I haven't got to do this tonight. Okay, we can leave now.
All right.
Thank you, guys. Sorry for the problems tonight, and we're hoping by next week. Mine's, I don't know. I think it might be my router. So, thank y'all so much, Jack. Thank you, Rodney, and we'll see everybody. We'll see everybody next week.